Welcome back, guys. I am so excited to bring you this vlog. I think this vlog, you guys are really gonna love it because you love the Western bike build vlog, and this is something a little bit similar to that. So I know that you're gonna see it. We've got something very special in this van. I'm not gonna show you yet. Do you wanna have a look? Do you wanna have a look? No, you can't see that yet. So I've been to CF Racing and bought myself a TE300 2025 Heritage Edition, and I'm gonna pimp it out properly. I'm very lucky, obviously, to have this bike, so I want to make sure that, obviously, if I'm riding it and stuff like that, that I want it to be pucker. So I'm gonna come in here and have a look. Look at her. Look at the old girl. I've had a good order come from Motor X as well, so thank you very much, Motor X and Vickers. I appreciate that. I've had a nice Raptor order come as well. I tell you, this bike is gonna be pimped. You are gonna love it. So today's job is to get it out, get it in the workshop. I've had a lot of stuff come for the bike already because obviously I knew I was going to do it, so I've had a shitload of stuff come for it. So that's very good. So, oh, look at her. Everybody loves a brand new bike, don't they? Everybody loves a brand new bike. Oh, look at it. Oh, look at that. It's like a blank canvas, innit? It's having a blank canvas and just doing what you want to do to it. So I'm really excited, and hopefully you guys are excited at home to understand what I would want to do to my own bike, and then hopefully you guys have a few tips and stuff, and you guys get to see what happens. Right, guys, we've got it in. We've been gathering parts and stuff to do the build. I'm not going to go into too much detail of what we've got. I've still got more parts to come as well. So thank you to all the guys that have done me a bit of a deal on stuff for my bike. Can't thank you guys enough. But like I said, as we go more into the build, then I'll explain a little bit about why I'm putting it on and stuff like that. I didn't want to just get a load of parts and just bolt them onto the bike, and you know what I mean. I wanted to obviously, oh dear, go into detail a little bit about why I've chose this part or why I've chose that part and stuff like that. So, right, I'm gonna move all this stuff out of the way, and then I am gonna start stripping down the bike. Right, guys, like I said, the first real job of mine is to strip everything down like I would do, like building Billy's factory bikes and stuff like that. I want to completely go through it from the ground up. Obviously there's no point in taking the engine out or all the wiring off or anything like that, because I haven't got a factory wiring loom or anything like that to put back on it, so it generally doesn't make no sense in that. I might reroute a few cables and stuff like that to make it a little bit better from that side, because there's a few bits that I can do, but as a base from that side, I'm gonna leave that on. But everything else is coming off. All the wheels are coming off. The suspension's coming off. Triple clamps will come out and get greased. Swinging arm will all come off. Wheels will come off out. Radiator fins and everything will come off. Yeah, basically just start from completely scratch again and build it back up. As you can see, she's fairly stripped down. There's a couple more bits that I'm going to do. I'm going to take the throttle off, the handlebars. I'm going to open this. I'm going to drop the triple clamps down. I want to grease all the triple clamps and then put them back on. And then, what is the next step? I think, to be honest, I can start to like build it back up a little bit. Obviously put in my touches to how I want it. So yeah, it's going to be, the build process of building it back up is going to be obviously a lot slower than taking it apart. But yeah, excited to get this TE300 build underway. So, like I said, we've just had the front end off, just dropped the triple clamps to put a little bit of grease and stuff. Now I am going to take out the screws that hold the forks on and also put a little bit of grease on them. As you can see, you can hear them when they come out. Very, 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 very dry. So, like I said, I've just had the grease out for that. So, not going to go crazy with it, but just put a little bit on, and then just literally just screw them back in. So it's all helps in the long run. Right guys, we've got the linkage here, so I've took all that off, but like I said, I want to grease it all back up. You can never have too much, so I want to grease it all back up before I put it all back into the bike. So don't get me wrong, there is a fair bit of grease on, but you can never have too much in there, because you want it to last. So yeah, it's all coming on. So I think what I'll do now, grease this up. I've got a couple of little bits to do on the swinging arm to take it off. So I'll show you that, and then we can start whacking the back end back together. Right, so I've got the swinging arm, just greased up that. I'm going to take this off, and also the TM block. Not the TM block, the standard block, to put a TM block on, because like I said, that's something that I would do anyway. So like, we'll get rid of this, and then we'll put the TM, once the swinging arm's back in the bike, then I can put the TM block on and stuff. But I just thought this gadget that's on here, I can take off before I put it back on. Right, just putting the shock back in now. I've greased it up, and also I'm going to add a little bit of Loctite on the top. I've had this off. This has been greased as well. So from a back end side, the back end is all fully greased up, which is what we like, isn't it? Oh, whack the swinging arm back in. Oh, look at that. Did you hear that then? You wouldn't have heard it because it's just slid straight in. Absolutely lovely. I'm going to do that now, put that in. I'm going to put the linkage back on. So the next clip will be me bolting the linkage back together. So here we got the greased up linkage that I greased up before, as you can see. And then we're going to put that through there, just like that. And then this bottom one as well. Just put that onto there. And then put that through there. Like that. I'm going to get the nuts, put the nuts on as well, and then I've got to bolt this chain slider back on, because we have to take the chain slider off here, as you can see, so we could get the linkage pin out. So I'm going to put all the nuts on that. Once everything's in there like that, then I will tighten it all up. So as you can see, I've got the main man Johnny filming, as I say, and it's so difficult to do this alone. So I've actually paid him a fortune to be here today doing this. So to be fair, my budget of the bike's mostly gone on him. So right, we've got the rear brake, and I am going to be fitting a brand new Bulletproof Designs rear disc guard. These things are awesome. I've got them all on the school bikes as well. So on the school bikes, I've had them on since they were new, and honestly, they are absolutely amazing things. So just gonna say, like with this, the rear brake system, obviously it's onto the hanger. Literally, it just pulls off like so. And then this is actually 11mm. So that comes off there like so. Obviously a bit of Loctite on it. And then pull this rubber out of here, because that's got to go back on to the new one. And then once I get me flat blade, that metal comes off there like so, because that goes onto the new one. So this is the old hanger that we don't need. This is the new Bulletproof Design, and it actually comes with, obviously on the KTM's Huskies gas, a couple of years ago they all come with different, that's not gone too well, has it? Come with different size spacers, wheel spindles. So Bulletproof make spacers that go in there, so you can either have the small spindle or the big spindle. So very, very clever that, Johnny, very clever. So right, what we're doing here, I'm going to, where's my Loctite gone? My Loctite is there. So I'm going to put a bit of Loctite on that. Going to screw that into there like that. Did you hear that torque up then? That torqued up. That was nice. We're going to put the rubber into that part like so. That's gone in there like so. That's very nice, very nicely done. The metal bit then goes on there like so. I'm going to take that out because that's annoying, and that's going to come out in a minute. So there you go, that's slotted on there like that. That's where the brake pad's sitting. And then I'm going to put a bit of grease on that one, put a little bit of grease in there, and then that slides on that one and into that one. Basically just slides back on like that. How easy is that? There we go. Putting this, bolting this back on. That's got to go under there. So as you can see, that's gone on. That's a really nice bit of kit, that is. And now that's on there, it's going to be so much easier to fit the brake pads, what we have here. It's going to be very, 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 very easy now. Right, we're moving on now. That's Bulletproof Design chain, disc guard is on. That's all bolted on and the brake pads are back in. Next thing I've got to go on is, oh, I like that, TM Design chain block. That is a must on these bikes. So like I said, I'm going to put that on, put a little bit of Loctite. That just slides up like that. That just slides through. Bolt that on a little bit, and get a bit of Loctite on that one, and again put that into there like so. Look at that, that is lovely jubbly. Look at that. They fit so good as well, like under here. Fits really nice. So I'm a big fan of them. So now I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the seals and the spacers in the wheels because we've got some new wheels to go on. Just wait there 1 second, I'll be straight back. So I'm gonna put the seals and the spacers in these wheels and literally just bolt them in so it helps level the bike, because as I say, at the moment we've had to put a strap, which is a bit of a nightmare. So got these wheels. They actually come with 2 sets of spacers again, like most things do now. One is obviously for the old type spindle, and then one's obviously for the new one. So I'm just going to put these in. I'll just put a little bit of grease around there so it slides in a little bit better, and just put that onto there and just slide it down. Sometimes that side goes in a little bit more, so just get a flat blade and just lift it up so it's all pretty flush around there. And then with the spacer side, I think that's the small ones and these are the big ones. Yeah, so from a spacer side, on the spacers it says RS, so that's rear sprocket, and then on this one is RD, which is rear disc. So just give you a tip, if you do buy a set of SM Pro wheels, that's how you can tell the different size spacers. So that side is in there. There you go. That's bolted into there like that. And then the other side, again, like we just done. Put a bit of grease on it. Just gonna slide. That one's not gone in. Very good. There you go, look. Oh, lovely. I love it when it slides in nicely. Then, there you go, like that. So, like I said, I'm just going to get the rear spindle and then I'm going to bolt the wheel in. Right, next, I am going to put the forks back in. And then, like I said, I've had all the front end out, greasing it, greased all these nuts and bolts here. But I am going to just put the forks to line 1, because by putting the forks to line 1, obviously I've had the clamps off, so I need to leave these slack so I can tighten the steering in a bit once all the front wheels in and stuff like that. Right guys, like I said, I've put the forks in. I have put the seal and spacers in the front wheel, put that on for now. That's not obviously still loose at the moment. So I am going to move to the radiator side. The next part that we've got to put on is the bulletproof design radiator guards. These things again are unbelievable. I've had them on all schools bikes since pretty much the first day, maybe not straight away, but I wish I did, because some of them that did bend didn't have these on. So it's a little bit of a shame. But again, they are unbelievable things. So easy to fit, which I'll show you in a minute, and super good for the radiators. And they look pretty cool as well, so that's pretty good. So you get the bolts with them. You get 4 bolts and also the spacers. And they are very, 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 very easy to fit. Literally, you just bolt on like that. That goes onto there. And look at that. Easy as that. Right, switch round to the other side now. And then again, just literally straight on. Like so. So this side's now on and this side's tightening it up. Look at that. Lovely. And pretty, they are better as well for washing. When you wash the bike, it's when you've got the standard ones on, it is pretty hard to get behind and stuff, but with these, I find it a little bit easier, to be honest. Right, while the tank's off, I am going to take this throttle body cover off. Like so. Take that off. That's all good under there. All spot on. And I'm going to replace it. I have got, again, big love, I've got some Bulletproof Designs throttle body cover. Very nice cover, actually. I'm very impressed with that. Just to say, it just helps it out. Bolts on very, very easily. And yeah, just from my side, just a bit more protection from anything that's going to hit on the side. That's right. Another little mod that I'm going to do is I've got some radiator hose here. Obviously, if you come a little bit closer, you can see the radiator hose here that just goes literally to there. But on Billy's bikes, I connect it there and run it all the way down. So basically, if anything does come out of there, it's not going to go all in here. It's going to run out at the bottom. So just took the radiator cap off just to put that on a little bit easier. Going to put a cable tie on the top of there so the hose doesn't get blown off. Multitasking there with my mouth. Like so. I'm going to cut that off. Very flush to there. So that's quite nice. That's going to actually, I'll put that down in there because there is actually, on the radiator bracket on the holder there is actually a bracket for that. So I'm going to put that down through there. That's going to go down to the bottom. I'll connect that in a minute. And then I'm going to literally, there you go, put the radiator. Look at that. That's lovely, isn't it? That's a lovely factory little mod. And then what I am going to do, I'm going to connect it, do another factory little mod that I'll do here and connect it to there. So I'll show you that in a minute. Right guys, this is another little modification that I'm going to do. I've just cut a little bit of tube there and I'm going to put the cable tie through. I'm going to go around the hose and I'm going to go back through like so, and then I'm going to go around the frame like so, and then we're going to connect it up behind here. So wait there 1 second. Just pushing it through so you get the cable tie in the right place, because I want it at the back so it's not showing. Keep pushing it through. Push it back through like so. Bit more. Get there in the end, mate. We'll get there in the end. Just push it through like that. There we go. See that? So basically, what's that doing now? It's not clamping the hose. So the hose can still breathe, but it's keeping it in a lovely position. See what I mean? And then I'm going to do that again further down here to the bottom, like so. I'm going to do that again here, but I need to take the skid plate off, so I'll have to do that a bit later on. But for now, look at that. Right guys, I've had about 20 minutes just changing a few connectors under here, just moving it how I would like doing it. As I say, the wiring loom that we use on a factory bike is a little bit different, not loads. So, like I said, I'm going to bolt the tank on now. Like thing, the main thing is to get the fuel pipe down, down there. So the wiring, so it sits on that. Like I said, just like that, it just how easy that slid on there. So I'm going to connect that up, put that down there. This goes around here this way. That bolts onto there. So I am going to, well, I'm going to connect the fuel pipe up. There we go, that's lovely. Right, I'm going to bolt the tank on now, and my next job, I think, I've got special colour plastics to go on. Right, but this is really going to separate my bike from the rest. Black plastics. I'm excited to see how these are going to look on the machine. Took me a while to get these, to be honest. They were on back order for quite a while. I don't actually know what you get with a plastic kit. But hey ho. So we've got it. All genuine plastics. Don't have any other plastics but genuine, because they're just so easy to bolt on. They really are really better. So, right, I'm going to, I think, start to bolt the plastics and stuff on now. So I'm going to bolt, put the front mudguard on. Oh, look at that. Wow. Do you know what's really going to top this off? Just imagine if I had some black graphics to go with it. Just imagine if I did. That would be pretty sick, wouldn't it? So hopefully Amps have pulled the finger out and got me some black graphics. So let's see. Let's carry on putting this on. Right, just bolting the mudguards on and stuff. Like I said before, I am going to put the grease on most of the bolts that I put back in, just so they go in a little bit better. Wow, look at this. I wanted to get a quick clip of putting this on. Wow, it looks so good. Can't believe this bike at the end is going to look so cool. I'm not even going to want to ride it, am I? You alright, mate? You good? So, right, we're fitting this tyre. Gotta make sure that it is directional. There we go. And let's try and fit this puppy dog. Got some straight levers thanks to my mate Cole. My mate comes up, uses my tyre levers, bends them, and then goes home. So if you're watching this, Cole, mate, I could do with some tyre levers for Christmas, please, if you can, mate. Whoa. This could be interesting. It's going to be fairly tight. It's going to be fairly tight, guys. We will give it a go. As you can see, I'm using my bent tyre levers from my mate Cole. Getting a bit tighter now, innit? Getting a bit tighter. What I normally do is put one in opposite, just so you can get your foot on there a little bit, like so. So then that pushes into the bead there, and then eventually that will go into there quite good. And then you just keep going around like that. There you go. Easy as that. That was quite nice, that was. Oh, pretty good. Pretty damn good. Right, just fitting the back new tyre and mousse. I've gone for a 140 tyre, but with a 120 mousse. That way, it's gonna be like ready straight away to get a little bit of traction, you know, like where if it was like 140, it's gonna be quite hard and it takes a little bit more time to bed in. So I thought, right, I'll stick a 120 in and we'll be away straight away. So that was my method behind me madness. So, like I said, give it a go. Trying not to scratch the wheels, because we wouldn't want to do that, would we? Ooh. Got to be very, very, very careful. Not that I'm too bothered about scratching the wheels, because eventually they are going to get scratched, but if we can start a little bit as we mean to go on. Oh, I've not got the disc in to go off the disc. Oh, there we go. She's gone in all right. Once I get round to here, I just push the opposite side in a little bit, and then finish the last little bit and use the old rubber comber to push her in more. There we go. And sometimes if you press on that side, if you look, that side has gone out. So if you press the opposite side, then sometimes the other side automatically pops off without blowing it off. So I'm going to clean the rim up. I'm going to tighten the security bolt. I'm going to put the disc and the sprocket on, and then I'm going to whack her into the bike. Right, so I'm just changing the sprockets over and disc over onto the wheel, because I am going to use it with standard gearing just to start with, to see what it's like and how it is. But obviously when I have put the discs and sprocket bolts back on, obviously I do use Loctite. Okay, so just to make sure that they're on there. So yeah, just putting Loctite on them, and then I'm going to put this wheel back in. We're going to put the chain back on then, and then once we've put the chain on, don't know what else I've got. Like I said, some parts have not arrived yet for it, but it's like I've got a linkage guard to come, we've got a clutch cover, factory clutch cover to come, little bits like that I can bolt on after. So at the moment, hopefully they'll come by the end of this video and we can get them all whacked on, and then you guys will finally be able to see the finished product. Right, putting the wheel back in, which that needs to go in there, that wasn't in. There we go. Oh, look at that, I need to snip that off in a minute. Just put the wheel on for now. Starting to look trick. There is a bit of a thing that I want to do with the side stand, a bit of a trick that I want to show you as well, guys, in a bit. But for now, we're going to whack the chain on and around, and then back through. Going to go into through the new TM design chain block, so that's lovely jubbly, and then back around, back to there. Don't forget to put the O-rings on, mate. Put them puppy dogs on. Put that through from the back. 2 O-rings on the front. Then that. This is another little trick. Now, what I do, 7mm spanner goes over the hole of the sprocket, and then you can literally just push that on like that. And then same with the other one. There you go, on like that. And then go back to the other one, bit more, there we go. And then the split link is good to go on. Just as easy as that. Obviously, sometimes I use a rivet link. On Billy's I used a rivet link, but like I said, from my side, the split link is plenty fine for what I need it for. So I am going to put that in there. I'm going to tighten the rear wheel up, and then 1 second, I'm going to show you a trick with the side stand. Right, little trick to do when you do get a new bike. Obviously, the stand doesn't stay down. Okay, so this little T45 on here, yeah, take that out, yeah, take that out, and that little washer, that is the reason that causes the stand to go back up. Okay, so that can go back in there like so. Tighten that back up. Quite a long thread on the old girl. Tighten it back up. She stays down, boys. Thank me later. I always, obviously, put a little bit of oil in the throttle tube, like so, and then put it on to there. And then we've got another factory modification, well, not modification, but another factory part. Bulletproof Designs throttle housing. Again, I have these on the school bikes and they are unbelievable. To be honest, I do know a lot of people that have crashed and broke the throttle housing. So these little things are an absolute must. So we've got the throttle cables in now. That one goes on that side like so. That one hooks on that side like so. And then they join in the middle. And then that one can go on like so. And then this side can go on like so. There we go. She's tight. Put the rubber cover back on. Ooh, just a free play a little bit. We'll get rid of some free play, but oh my God, she's good. Like I said, we're coming towards the end of the build. And then I'm just putting the bar pad on now. That goes over. It's pretty cool that it comes with a Pro Taper bar pad, because obviously it's the bike's a heritage edition, so it comes with the Pro Taper bar pad. So that's pretty cool. And then so I'm just putting that on now. There we go. That's on like that. That's pretty cool. I'm putting these on the clutch and the brake lever. Basically what that does is allows them, even though they're pretty tight, it allows them, if you do have a crash, it allows the lever to move rather than breaking the clutch perch or something like that. So I thought these are a must, and I really like them, and they're in the Power Parts catalogue, so that's pretty good. So swap that one off, put that one on, and just bolt it up. Right guys, before we start, I apologise for the noise of the Jenny in the background, but I'm afraid I need it for the heat gun, because like I said at the start of the video, I said I hope Hampton pulled the finger out and done me some pucker graphics. And look what we've got. They have pimped me right out. I cannot thank the guys at Hampton enough for doing me this. Like I said, I wanted to do a bit of a like replica, a bit of black, a bit of this, bit of that, and them guys have pimped me right out. So I'm not actually going to open them, I'm not going to show you. I'm going to start to put them on. Johnny's going to film me a little bit putting them on, and then we will finally get to see nearly the finished product. Not quite there yet. Oh, here we go. No pressure or anything. No pressure. Little bit of heat. With graphics as well, what I will say, you can have too much heat. And too much heat makes the graphics so thin that it fucks them up. So, like I said, you can have too much heat. Right guys, I finally finished the graphics. Like I said, I didn't want to bore you to death with putting the graphics on. I kind of told you a little bit of how I stick the graphics on, a little bit of heat, not too much heat because the graphic then goes really thin and you struggle to get it on. But as you can see, Ant have pulled it off. I honestly, these graphics look absolutely amazing. Johnny's going to get a few little close-ups now and stuff. Fitment wise, perfect, and the look is just what I wanted. When we kind of designed them, I didn't know exactly how they would look, etc. So to be honest, to see the finished product, even like them leaving the little blue in for the only stands and stuff like that, is pretty cool. I can't thank them guys enough. So, like I said, I've still got, there's probably 2 or 3 bits that are missing that I need to finish this build. So, we're losing the light today, so unfortunately I can't get it finished. As I say, I am waiting for them little bits and stuff like that. What bits am I waiting for? I've got a clutch cover to come, I've got a linkage guard to come to cover the linkage, and I'm waiting for some black handguards, and also the surround. I've got a black headlight surround at home that I forgot to bring up this morning to do. So I've got the headlight surround to go on, then the headlight can go all back together. That's pretty cool. Black handguards, I need to get some of them. I don't really know what else there is left, but like I said, for today, that's enough guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Right, it's the day after, the day after, the day after, and we're finally back. I've been waiting for handguards, sump guard, and something else. Anyway, it's time to finish this build off. So, I'm just literally bolting the handguards on. The cable tie's just gone over there. So I'm just bolting these on. So that's pretty good. Then I'm gonna bolt the clutch on. And we are doing something very special to the clutch. All clutches come with a standard 10mm clutch pump, and I know a lot of people put the 9mm clutch pump on just to make it a little bit lighter and a bit easier. So because it is custom built and I would want to do that to my bike, that's what I'm going to do. So if you come over here, this has got the standard 10 on. I'm going to put the 9mm clutch pump, put the handguard on, and then I'm going to have to bleed it back up. So we'll get that done now, cut back in a minute. Right, so I am just slacken the 11mm off on there. I am going to take this out, screw this one straight into the new 9mm clutch pump, and then we are going to have to bleed it up, which I'll show you a little bit of how I bleed it. Right guys, so that's the 9mm clutch pump on. I am going to just put the lever on there for now. I've got the handguard. One thing I will say about when you're doing the handguards, make sure that you use a pretty thick cable tie, because when these thing gets hit from here, if you've got a shit cable tie on there, then at the end of the day, it's just going to split the cable tie. If you're in a race, this is going to push in, it's going to jam the front end in, you're going to lose the front, you're going to crash. Simple as that. So make sure that you put a thick cable tie in. I put this on before I put it onto the bike, just so it's threaded through there, like so. Just makes it a little bit easier. Then I am going to take the pin out of there, put that on there, and bolt it back through. I'm going to tighten that up, like so. Whoa. And then I am going to, there we go, put the cable tie, and that's all on. Next is to bleed it up. Right, just put a bit of fluid in here. I've took this white plastic out just because it bleeds up way easier when that's out. So now I've only swapped the top. Now just going to give it some flicks like this, like so, and like you say, you can see in there all the bubbles coming to the top. So you don't want to see that, so I'm going to bleed this up. The next shot that you'll see of me putting this back on, and that's literally the clutch, the handguards, all ready to go. Right, oh, that is unbelievable. That is so good. Makes it, honestly, it's a different thing now, completely different. So that's got a 9mm clutch pump on there. Now just going to put a cable tie on here like so, and that's going to obviously make sure that it's a little bit tidy, holding the kill button down there. The big cable tie's on there, so that's sorted. So handguards are officially on. If you come over here now, we have got, so the bike comes with a skid plate, obviously. And this is a power part add-on. So this is just like a linkage protector. So I've bought one of them to go on, and it comes with the two little bolts that go on there, like so. They are really good, to be honest. It's surprising how good they are. I've got some of these on the school bikes, and it does generally protect the linkage a little bit from just rocks. Obviously, it's not going to protect it from blooming jumping out onto a massive thing and ripping it off, but it is, honestly, it is pretty strong, which that's really trick. So that's another add-on part that we've got. And the next step, I think I'm going to take it off the stand and we're going to bolt this on now. So just put the skid plate on. It's literally held on. There's two at the front and then two at the back that go in to the frame. Super, super easy to fit. Really, really good. So that is that finished and on. I reckon that we could be nearly there. Whoa. Just giving it the little once over now, tidying everything up. Oh, look at this. She is one hell of a weapon. So guys, I think the first TE300 Only Stands edition is finally finished. pretty excited, to be honest. It's been a pretty cool build. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fire it up in a minute because I haven't had it started because obviously it's brand new. And then we are going to shift down to our other place and I'm going to do a run round of the bike of exactly what we've put on, exactly what we've done. And then at the end of that, I have got some pretty exciting news to announce about this bike. Right guys, we're down at our second base. Finally finished the bike build. So what I thought I would do is go through the bike of what I've done very briefly, not very long or anything like that. So first of all, we're going to start at the front. We started with SM Pro wheels, Michelin mousses and Michelin tyre on the front, as you can see there. Going up a little bit to the handlebars, we've got the bulletproof design throttle housing. Very, very trick, lovely. We've obviously got these Husqvarna mounts here that basically they're the clamps, and if you was to crash, they've got like a little plastic thing, they do actually move, okay? They're not like the standard ones that if you crash, they'll probably break or crack. These ones actually move a little bit, so that's super, super cool. We've got that. You've just seen us fit the 9mm clutch pump from the 10mm clutch pump, so that's, again, that's a little upgrade. If you come around the front of here, we've gone with the bulletproof design radiator guards. These things are next level. They are so good. I've got them on all the school bikes and they're super, super good. So if we go around here a little bit, as you can see down here, we've got Raptor 5mm back foot pegs. These things are a must as well. These are unbelievable. So we've got a set of them on it as well. Moving slightly back, we've got the SM Pro wheels. We've got 120 mousse in the back of there in a 140 tyre to get a little bit of feeling out the tyre and mousse. We've also got the bulletproof design rear disc guard. That's something very special. While we're down here as well, you've just seen us put the linkage guard on the sump guard. As I say, that's the last little bit that we did. Obviously, looking at the bike, you can see that we've gone for full black, genuine Husqvarna plastics. Found an old seat cover that I had as well, so that's pretty cool because obviously that matches. Really good. As you come around here a little bit, you might be able to see with the light rather than me turning the bike around, we've got the TM design chain block. That's a must as well. A little bit more flex if you hit anything. Coming this way again, we've got the bulletproof design throttle body cover. That thing is an awesome bit of kit. It's so nice. Also, obviously, done my own little touch to some of the wiring, moving a few bits to get a little bit more space in some areas. Really, really trick, to be honest with you. I'm so happy with how this build has gone. It's absolutely turned out amazing. Like I said, I did a little bit of down here, you can see with the yellow hose, made my own little tweaks. That turned out really nice as well. So that's super exciting. Now for the most important news and the best news that we could possibly have. You've all probably seen in the last few days, I've launched a competition website, as you can see, called Onlycomps. So now this bike is going to be our first competition bike. So I am so excited to launch that. So now you can win this bike for £10, a tenner. What a bargain. So I'm really, really excited to announce that. I'm really excited to get the first competition under our belts, and obviously you guys can win this TE300 2025 model, only stands edition. Like I said, it's a brand new bike, never ever been used. Big thank you to CF Racing to supporting the the thing as well, for giving us a bit of a deal on the bike. I appreciate that. But guys, it's all down to you now. Head over to onlycomps.uk, get yourself a ticket, give us some feedback of what you think. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave us a comment about the build, and leave us a comment of what bike you guys want to see us build next. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all the love and support. Catch you in the next one.